Hey, what is up, everybody? Michael Crump back here again, talking about the latest and the greatest in PlayStation Homebrew news and much, much more. So, to kick things off here today, I wanted to mention this brand new and improved version of UMTX2 by idlesauce. Now, this just occurred last week, but there was a major enhancement for performance that was added that you absolutely should be taken advantage of. Now, over on the channel, I did a video that showed just how fast that this was. So, yes, as you can see right here, I hit the jailbreak button and it was exploited in just a couple of seconds. And I was very amazed with this. So anyways, if you want to check that out, go ahead and do so. But I did want to just clue you in that if you do have a PlayStation 5 on 5.50 or under, then definitely you want to start using this new and improved version of the UMTX2 jailbreak. Now, the major news here of today is that we now have kstuff support for 7.x firmwares, and so now there is coverage from 3.00 up to 7.61. So this is an amazing feat that we now have, and obviously there is a shout out to Slayers Gorvy for creating the project. Now, if we go over to that GitHub site, it just has that kstuff.elf currently available, and you can just go ahead and download that. Now, there's a ton of different contributors, so always I like to shout out several of these, and Slayers Gorvy really appreciate it, especially idlesauce and more. So what this currently means with kstuff is that now we would be able to go ahead and run a number of PS4 fake game packages and homebrew applications. Now, at least as of this moment, there is not an etaHEN that has been released for 7.x, but that should be coming around very shortly. Now, we also saw another project over here from EchoStretch, and this one was called kstuff-toggle. So there's been a couple of different games that has had some performance issues, and so EchoStretch has a fix here that you can go ahead and use on your PlayStation 5. Now, in this version, you would need to build the elf file yourself because I didn't see any releases here, but if you just hang on just a little bit, we can see that Lightning Mod stated over here, coming in etaHEN 2.1b, the option to pause and resume kstuff at any time. Below shows this feature in action, along with the performance test and items flow showing the huge difference with it paused and unpaused. And if we just take a quick look at the video over here, okay, so it looks like how this works is you go into etaHEN, and there is an option here to pause kstuff. So right there, it just popped that up. And I believe he just navigates back over and now does the unpause. So you can see you can toggle between it being paused and unpaused. Now, when you launch a game, you will obviously need kstuff to be activated. And after that, you can turn kstuff back off. Now, right here is it is going to go ahead and do measuring the system call performance of that quick test that he just made. And then we can see right here the performance summary with the average time, minimum, and maximum time. Okay, and so I wanted just to pause it right here on this message that says that PS4 fake packages, PS5 fake games, and any other fake package homebrew app will not work once it's paused. So if you pause it after opening a game, to be sure to resume it before closing it. So that is your guidance if you do want to pause kstuff. Now, here is the performance summary once it is complete. And as you can see here, this is how many calls was made, the average time, minimum time, and maximum time, as I've shown before. But the run number 2 will actually show you what the global performance comparison is. So we can see 97.92% faster than the first run. So yeah, you definitely are going to want to take advantage this ability to toggle case stuff on and off. And then it seems the PS5 compatible games list is starting to float around again. Now, this has existed for quite some time, but it seems like folks are now taking a quick look at it again. But here you can see that there is a working and a non-working. And so for the working tab over here, you can search for your game. I think there's about 92 or 178 of those that are left. And you can see whether or not it will be playable or not, what the minimum firmware is, and so forth. There's also this tab over here that is for not working. So if you are going to potentially rent a disc, you might not want to get one that is kind of known as not working. So anyways, I just thought I would leave that in the description below where you can take a quick peek at it. And then I think it's always a good reminder to show this little guide again because it shows what's currently available. And so obviously, as you know, from 1.x all the way up to 2.70, we have a hypervisor exploit. And then you can see right here from 3.00 all up to 5.50, we have a WebKit exploit. You can see right there is the little check mark for WebKit. And then for 6.x all the way to 7.61, we have been able to fill a lot of these check boxes now, and you can get full support all the way up to 7.61 with using either BDJB or Lua. I have not tested this on MasterCore, and I don't really know anybody that has. Then you can see right here from 8.00 all the way up to 11, there is no public exploit that is currently available, but we do know that you can still run the Lua code, and I've even tested that over on my Twitter account if you want to check that out. And then we saw another bounty was paid out to the Flow over here for $10,000, and this one is a kernel vulnerability. So it states right here that it is possible to cause a kernel stack free in the syscall located right here and a couple of different threads. If we go ahead and look at the date that this was submitted, this was December the 15th, 2024. And by the time that this was flagged and fixed, it looks like they had went ahead and released 10.60. So, looking at the dates here, it would pretty much be a 10.40 vulnerability for the PlayStation 5. Yeah, I know. It just keeps getting better and better. And yeah, just a couple of days ago, they went ahead and disclosed this report. So stay tuned. And if you do have a PS5 on 10.40 and under, you might be able to jailbreak it. Then there was a couple of interesting developments that I saw with the remote Lua loader. And we can see that the author right around 16 hours ago added support for Nora Princess and Stray Cat Heart HD. And so we can see right down here in this latest commit 16 hours ago that they just went ahead and added this to the compatible games. So yes, the Lua loader is getting better day by day and then adding more games, especially games that aren't as expensive as some of those original titles listed in the README here. And then it looks like there is a new attempt to be able to backport some of your PlayStation 5 games. Now, currently, a lot of us that are stuck on 4.03, etc., we are not able to play any of the new games that came out for 5.x, 6.x, and 7.x. What this little tool does is it attempts to be able to make that game playable. Now, there are a great of instructions in here, and you can just jump straight over here to a MediaFire link and download it. So I will say that if you are going to play around with backporting, then absolutely, let us know, let the community know how well that this is working for you. This might be something that would be great to add to this PS5 compatibility games list at some point. Now, I haven't tested this myself, and I might do some of my own tests, but if this is something that I have found to be very useful for the community, then I'll obviously make just a full tutorial on that. And then just the other day, I posted this tweet where basically I let people know I bought this $5 limited edition Darth Vader controller that was broken in as is, and I was able to repair this thing really within about 10 minutes. And one of the questions that came up, it's actually not even in this thread, was where did I find this piece for it? And then how did I know which version to get? Now, you can obviously take open your controller and you can look at the piece here. Basically, what was wrong was this port was busted. So, how I was able to find out which board that I needed, I just used this little tool over here and it lets you determine what type of controller is connected and which board that you need. Now, this is obviously for a product that they are selling that has a USB-C board, but the number that comes back is exactly what you would need to order if you were going to grab it on eBay or something just like that. Okay, and so if you do want to do this, you will need to use something like Chrome, and I went ahead and plugged in my PS4 Darth Vader controller, and I'm going to press right here on check my controller, and it pops up this little message here, and then you can press connect, and right there it is. That is the board that I needed to order. And so if you go to eBay or wherever, that is how you know what part that is. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Michael, out.